This woman could not outrun the horror that pursued her and transformed her flesh to stone. Book 2. The Burden of Thanatos. This simple farmer looks to have put up a fight, albeit in vain. This pile of dirt is intermingled with bits of dark, cold coal. "'Tis a note written on parchment. It reads, 'Elhood, the coals were unfit for the forge. Take care with the wood, you let it burn too high. Dirt first, then fire. See Sophos the shearer for kindling. Leonidas.'" Bards will tell countless tales of Idas, he of boundless strength, and slayer of boar and centaur alike. Butes, kinsman and falconer, is no more. The land of Tegea has lost a favoured son. Argonus takes a single cautious step forward before two eyes, set like burning coals, narrow and stop him cold. The daimon's grotesque head regards the sailor.
"Nay, Argonus, son of Argus, thou cannot pass beyond this threshold. So says Hades, lord of the underworld. For just as many legions doth serve me and obey my will, so too Thanatos obeys the will of he who governs the dead."
It is obvious that this man was trying to shield the woman from harm. Unfortunately, he failed. This man was attempting to crawl away from that which would bring him doom. This juvenile was not immune to that which takes man and mystic creature alike. 'Tis a monstrous Cyclops. Many a tale has been told about these one-eyed creatures. This stone statue is that of quiet Phlius, cup-bearer of sweet wines, possessor of a lion's heart. Before Argonus can take another step, the Cyclops lumbers toward the sailor, blocking his way. A low growl flows from clenched teeth, its meaning clear. Do not approach the petrified juvenile. It does not take a chronicler nor a seer to recognize the women that warm themselves by the fire. They are the Grey, witches of well renown. As soon as Argonus steps from the shadows, the daughters of Phorcys raise their heads, their shared eye sensing his presence. One of the Grey Witches lifts her frail arm and gestures. Immediately, the world begins to swim, and the sailor of the Argo finds himself elsewhere. The owl appears mildly interested in the wanderings of wayfaring sailors. The great statue of Hades, god of the underworld, lies still and dormant. The great statue of Hades stirs as if waking from a long, deep slumber. The god of the underworld looks about before his gaze settles upon the sailor.
Argonus, son of Argus, the shipbuilder. I have heard your name spoken within the halls of Zeus, albeit in whispers, and even then through mediary. It is said that fair Athena herself has laid upon your frail shoulders a great burden. And while she charges you to seek out your comrades, I find it curious that the goddess of wisdom would care so much about that which Hades governs.
The god looks away, as if seeking something that even he cannot find.
I know a great many things, Argonus. I know when each soul departs this mortal coil. I know when they enter my realm, and I know on which dark river they set sail. However, what I do not know,
Hades says, his eyes once again turning toward Argonus,
is why the names of two sisters are also uttered high upon Olympus. There is an object, an orb that can grant me such an answer. Who would be my steward? Who would bring it here, to my temple, to me?
Without hesitation, Argonus nods. Pledge made, the god of the underworld stretches forth his hand, and a helm materializes before Argonus.
Take this helm of darkness. Wear it, and eyes will be blinded to you. Succeed in this boon, and I will provide you with something greater. A way forward where there was none. So says Hades, brother of Zeus and Poseidon, ruler of the dead.
And with that proclamation, the statue shifts once more and becomes silent. Even with his keen eyesight, the Cyclops is nescient of the helm-wearing Argonaut. With the aid of Hades' gift, the Grey Eye are caught unawares as the smoke from the fire billows, carrying the potion within its grip. It takes naught but a few seconds for the witches to feel its effect, and one by one, they fall into a deep sleep. Finely embroidered pillows rest upon an equally elegant rug. One can only speculate the strange purpose of such an apparatus. A glass calcinator, such as this, is essential when one practices alchemy. Argonus holds out his hand, and the all-seeing eye of the Grey Eye rises. The god of the underworld stretches forth his arm, and light, not unlike that of a moonbeam, engulfs the sailor of the Argo. Argonus turns, and for the first time since setting foot upon this bedeviled isle, bears witness to his bane. With naught but a simple gaze, a woman, her hair like a nest of snakes, turns one of his shipmates into stone. The other creature, distraught, moves between the two, pleading.
Stheno, this madness must end. How many more must perish to satiate your thirst for vengeance? Let us mourn our sister in peace. Let us return home.
A flash of anger crosses Stheno's face as she moves within mere inches of her cowering sister.
Never, Euryale. There is no time to weep or wail, nor shall there be. Not as long as a single breath forms within my breast. The petty gods will pay. Wretched Athena will pay. From Hades' heart I will stab at them. For hate's sake, I shall drive my vengeance deep.
Stheno moves toward the looming entrance within the mount, but not before she pauses.
When shall my hate have its fill? When shall it be placated?
The woman whispers.
Never, Euryale. Never.
And with that, Stheno is gone, and Euryale obediently follows her sister into the darkness, into her madness. The vision falters, and the light that fell from the hand of Hades follows before fading completely. The god of the underworld takes measure of Argonus, and with a final nod, the statue moves no more, and the helm vanishes from sight.
I have done the very thing that my brethren could not. I have stared into the loathsome eyes of the scourge, and lived to tell the tale. 'Tis true, for I have watched in horror as mighty Cepheus, brother of Amphidamas, did succumb to its devilry. Those who doubt my sight, the apostates and illiterate, might say what I beheld was nothing more than a fevered dream, summoned from human frailties. Others would spout that the vision was a trick of the mind, a glamour to take hold of weak and hopeful fools. 'Tis not so. I know the thing witnessed by the sailor was neither feebled madness nor dark illusion. The form that death now takes, the very one that has brought the men of the Argo to ruin, is that of the dread Gorgons. Never will my eyes forget this, nor my heart forgive such great transgressions. My will is unfaltering, and I shall neither mourn nor wallow in my infirmities. No, I will bring a reckoning upon the heads of these creatures and the brood of vipers that nest thereon.
Apparently under some spell, the great eye moves about within the satchel, as if to liberate itself from Argonus's possession. As Argonus slowly approaches the poisonous cloud, the daimon cocks his head, as if listening to a voice only one such as he can. Seconds pass before the beast turns his attention to the sailor trembling before him.
Never has there been a time when Thanatos was commanded to forsake those souls he was sent to gather. And yet, this is the will of Hades, the one to whom I am subject.
Once again, the daimon looks away before finally letting his dark gaze settle upon Argonus.
I fear this was brought to be by thine own hands, Argonaut. For without thy influence, the Lord of the Underworld would not hold me hands. If I am to go forth, one must take my place. For if I cannot harvest the souls of those who remain between life and death, then the son of Argus must suffice.
Thanatos lifts a claw into the air, and without further explanation, utters a single word.
Menas ignis.
Argonus screams as his hand is momentarily enveloped in flame. Just as quickly as it arrived, the pain passes. As the sailor looks upon his new hand in both horror and the daimon begins to dissipate, leaving only the smell of ash in its wake. Moments later, that too fades from this world.
Forgive this historian, as I find it impossible to fully comprehend, much less lay onto parchment, that which concerns the burden laid upon me by the daimon. It is as if proper words seek to evade me, refusing to form upon my lips. In the days that I stood ready at Jason's elbow, I can recount only one kindred encounter, one worthy of both bards and those who would gather at the poet's feet. Listen to this tale if you have ears to hear. We had brought mighty Argo to shore on Limnos, the Sintian Isle, under the cover of darkest night. As our feet found dry ground, we were set upon by towering men, pale like the moon itself, and laden with sword, spear, and axe. As Helion, son of Helios, fell, mortally wounded in the grave battle, a great billow of smoke appeared, and a disfigured hand formed within it. That is when I beheld Helion's soul rise from his mortal frame and depart this world. And although my mind cannot hold fast to this new encounter, nor this hand that I now possess, Thanatos' last words of mystery burn like flame before my eyes. For if I cannot harvest the souls of those who remain between life and death, then the son of Argus must suffice. Not once, either within dream or vision, did this sailor of broad seas and salted winds foresee such a thing. Under a foreboding sky, my burdens were lifted for a heartbeat, carried aloft upon snow-white wings. Though his form I had never before beheld, nor was the beast yet ascribed to legend, a name entered my mind. Whether granted by god or goddess, I know not. Only a name, Pegasus. But should I find such soundless words curious? No, for this isle does not keep its secrets close, but displays them in such a fashion to make my forebears weep with envy. Upon these white sands, and beneath its dark shadows, wonders both fair and foul are commonplace, each fighting to fetter my heart with chains of great hope or utter despair. Shall either exalt in triumph? This I cannot say, for while I soar above gray clouds on one glorious winged stallion, there are a score of dead men below, pulling at my soul, crying out for vengeance.
The air about Argonus suddenly grows heavy, and without warning, a rift opens, and the favored daughter of Zeus steps through. Athena smiles at the sailor.
Well done and done, Argonus. You have proved yourself much more than a historian, much more than a simple sailor. And now, I sense in you a new thing,
The goddess says, tilting her head.
Do not withhold this gift from those who sailed blue seas and grey swells. Nor should you give up on your brethren, for while many have fallen, some still live. Again, I say to you, seek them out and save them. For the ones that have brought them low, you have now seen with your own eyes. Stheno and Euryale, creatures of madness and spite.
Athena's eyes narrow as she speaks with great authority.
Gird yourself for what is ahead, son of Argus. Do not grow weary, for fair Athena is with you, and a boat awaits.
The goddess slowly nods her head, and without another word, is taken up